Philip Kennedy Johnson and Riccardo Federici send Superman home as the Man of Steel returns to Earth with Warworld, not only gaining the attention of the United Nations and its people, but Lex Luthor as well. Philip Kennedy Johnson begins Kal-El's return this issue with another wonderful book that captures Superman in all his glory, utilizing the hero's ability to give stirring speeches and inspire those around him to great effect while setting up some of the big bads for this portion of the series, which I love is returning to the classic pairing of Lex Luthor and Metallo, two villains who haven't gone directly after Superman in what feels like years, and Johnson tied them directly into the leftover Warworld saga plots really well as the new plots involving Warworld appearing over Earth and causing just utter chaos, being now that there are more aliens on Earth or more aliens want to come to Earth, which of course stokes anti-alien sentiment and something that Lex thinks he can take advantage of in classic Lex Luthor fashion. The one part of the story I'm very much looking forward to getting into is the Osel and Othel part, especially since Osel technically has the fire of Olgren inside of him, while also having the powers of Phalosians and what they will eventually get under the A Yellow Sun. It feels like Johnson is really building up to that story we saw him write in Future State, where many other Kryptonians arrived on Earth in the years after Superman went to Warworld, and thanks to Osel and Othel's story developing the way it is with them staying on Earth with Superman and maybe becoming part of the Superman family, it feels like the beginning of that story we saw in that Future State stuff, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what he does with those characters. Riccardo Federici paints Superman's earthly return with some utterly beautiful artwork, giving us some epic action sequences and lighter, tender character-driven moments. Federici also gets a chance to slightly redesign Superman's new costume as he comes back to Earth, giving him a slightly updated and smaller shield that looks more sleek and very much in line with what he was wearing on Warworld. It's kind of a combination of that very Kingdom Come-esque future Superman and then a current-day Superman, which I really like, and it helps him set apart from John's Superman symbol, Kara's Supergirl symbol, and the rest of the Superman family in general. Action Comics issue 1047 was a brilliant beginning to Superman's return to Earth, instilling a lot of the inspirational nature that I love about the character, while also setting up some exciting new plot lines with some of Superman's classic rogues. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Action Comics issue 1047 heads to Strikers Island 1 week ago, where John Corbin's sister comes to see her brother, learning that there was an incident so they had to take Metallo's voice box from him, so he can only communicate via the monitor in his room, but the guard thinks he won't talk. John's sister tells the cyborg that she has been thinking of him lately, and this morning she discovered there was a double sun in the sky, remembering how he would also say that whenever he saw the moon in the sky. Becca gets some of the books that she brought him out, knowing that he doesn't have to read them, but she'll keep bringing new ones for him every week until they find something he likes. She pauses, hoping John can hear her, knowing that it's hard seeing him this way and nobody should have to be stuck like this. Wishing it had been her that day instead of him, she thinks that maybe if she explained what happened and the situation they're in, they would take better care of him, but John flashes the word no on the screen. Becca tells him that she's going to keep coming every single week since she wants to care for him like he cared for her. As in the skies above, Warworld rockets down towards the Earth. 1 week later, a group of soldiers smash their way through the streets towards a bridge in a hover tank, thinking they're about to get away with their crime since there's no heroes in sight, but suddenly the driver's partner disappears from the tank cockpit as Superman appears before him, stopping the tank dead in its tracks. The tank fires its gun, blowing a huge hole in the side of the bridge and allowing a car to fall off. Superman races to grab the car, telling the family inside they don't need to thank him as he checks on them. The young child offers Superman his Flash dog to help him, but Superman tells him to hold on to Flash Dog since he would miss the boy a lot. But if the kids do want to help him, they can do so by wearing their seatbelts since they will keep them safe as much as he will. Later at the United Nations, Ambassador Nevin tells the gathered delegations that the world needs Superman, but as altruistic as his recent actions have been, the world has been put in danger thanks to Warworld now orbiting around Earth, inhabited by people who know only cruelty and bloodshed. Nevins questions Superman's decision to bring Warworld and its dangerous population to their doorstep, asking the arriving Superman and the Superman family to help answer these questions. Superman thanks the ambassador for the chance to speak, as the ambassador tells the Man of Steel that for years, Earth has had little choice but to rely on his judgment, but that's now in question thanks to Warworld appearing in their skies, causing an existential crisis. Superman knows the same has been said about him and many of the people across the world, since even among the nations of Earth, entire populations fight such preconceived notions about themselves every day, and he has a responsibility to the people of Warworld since most of them were taken from their homes, and he only wants to help them find their homes again, and with his family's help, he can accomplish this task. Superman continues, revealing that John Henry and Natasha Irons are working with Star Labs to create a global energy research institute in Metropolis that will help use the technology of Warworld to better Earth's future. Lex Luthor meanwhile watches the announcement, with Mercy asking if this will affect Project Blackout. Lex is unsure, uploading a neural imprint into one of his satellites, which fires a remote-controlled war suit at Warworld. Superman meanwhile tells the UN that Warworld itself won't be there long, but some of the Warworlders have no home to go back to, expressing interest in making their home on Earth, something which Superman has faith the people of Earth will recognize their value and show them the same kindness and decency he was given, the decency that all people deserve in life. Lex meanwhile walks around on Warworld in his remote-controlled suit, calling its people imbeciles for ever siding with Superman, and what's happened on Warworld and them praising Superman would have happened to Earth if not been for him. Mercy doesn't even know what he's looking for, but Lex knows he'll know it when he sees it, heading into a cavern as he tells Mercy that he and Superman have a mutual friend who has been keeping him informed on Superman's activities on Warworld, hearing reports of necro-cyborg biotech and orphan boxes, and it didn't pique his interest until Superman's little announcement about the Energy Institute. Lex soon finds a dead cyborg, opening it up and finding an orphan box as he tells Mercy that with some research and the right operator, he could do great things with this, knowing just the person to give it to. In Metropolis, Osel and Othel play with John's old toys as Superman watches them from the sky above with Lois, who is glad they aren't watching any reality TV. Clark thinks that they will be wary of technology for a while since the only technology they knew were weapons. He thinks that Lois is taking him bringing some children home rather well, but Lois is glad and it's nice having them in the house, since there are days when she gets up thinking that John will run in with his little hoodie on, but he's not there. And when he's not with her, she feels like his age shifts up and down in her mind. Clark reminds her that Othel and Osel aren't John, and John is still with them, and Lois knows and they know they have their son and he has them. But who do Osel and Othel have? Clark doesn't know, but he knows that he told them that the House of El Sigil was theirs as long as they want it, and he means it since they have earned it, telling Lois of the courage the children showed despite being scared as any other kid would be. Clark feels such pride in the children, and after everything they've been through, they are like family now. But he doesn't know what the right thing to do is or if there is a place there for them. Lois tells him that they'll figure it out together, kissing her husband and asking if they can stay in the clouds for a while longer. Lex meanwhile pays a visit to Metallo, shocked at the state that the cyborg is in and the treatment he is enduring in Stryker's Island. He knows from experience that the US justice system doesn't apply to everyone, especially those with extraordinary means and talents, just like John Corbin's talents, and the law never applied to Metallo. John demands that Lex get out, flashing the words "get out" on the screen over and over again, but Lex tells him that his so-called crimes are just an expression of his talents, and the government cultivated them in him, and now he wishes to amplify those talents exponentially. He puts an orphan box on the table, telling Metallo that they share a common goal, save the world from aliens who wish to take it from them, and that need is risen again. So Lex wishes to make John Corbin a man of extraordinary talents again.